Hello everyone, welcome back to the Mania 7K World Cup 2025. We just had just a little bit of a break from the New Zealand-Taiwan match that ended in a sweep. We are going to now proceed with a bunch of matches from here on now with France versus Macau. Now, one team definitely a very familiar face in Mania with France, but another team that maybe a lot of you probably have not heard of actually play in most Mania World Cups is Macau with just their 2 players of 8 coups and randoms. This is going to be their first 7K World Cup appearance, I believe, in slightly over half a decade since 2019. And it is definitely very nice to actually see them return as an 18th seed. So they've actually managed to punch their way into at least a low seed kind of area. And they are going to be taking on a team just 3 seeds below them. So the recipe for an upset is definitely on the table, but can they cook is going to be the question. So it will be France with the protect, which means that Macau will be the team to ban first and France will be the subsequent team to pick. And France are going to opt for the L-1 protect, which I believe is the inverse map. Basically reading the gaps between LN. That's pretty much the entire map, or at least the bulk of the difficulty of shadows. We'll see what Macau want to go for here. Honestly, I would maybe lean towards something a little bit easier, maybe on the rice. Oh, like I did mention, Macau only have 2 players to play. They have the pick of the litter. I think Hybrid 1 or Hybrid 2 would still be pretty reasonable. LN2 or LN3 are also pretty fine because those 2 maps are definitely more skewed towards other kinds of skill sets, not just inverse. Okay, Rice 1 actually is going to be banned. So the speed map, 230 BPM. But this also leaves a very interesting scenario of 3 maps per skill bracket of Rice, LN, and Hybrid. Is this going to be an anti-Rice kind of match? I'm all in for it. There's no way. France opting to pick Macau's Protect. Not the first time. Not the first time that this has happened. But to begin the match by picking your enemy's Protect is a very interesting start. And like I said, this is easily one of the hardest maps of the pool. Arguably the hardest. It's considered the mini tiebreaker for a reason. It's also a really comfy kind of Rice focused into LN focused into a mixed section of both kind of map. Let's see if this is a smart decision. Both monkey players from France, Milla and Jerem, going up against the solo 2 players of Macau. Let's see if the France players can monkey their way to a starting point. Definitely a really intriguing beginning to this match. Alright, just waiting for everyone to load in. Singular mirror from Jerem. Let's see this in action. This map isn't frequently picked that often. And already a very early drop from Itkus. Both players of Macau dipping below 99% right at the start. As both France players struggling a little bit on accuracy, but 99.3, nothing to scoff at. Still a very healthy lead so far. Especially with the misses from Macau. France are going to capitalize on the advantage. Randoms has managed to actually pull the accuracy back up above 99%. So it's just Itkus lacking behind by a little bit. And Miller actually dropping a little bit. Jerem has recovered very nicely to 99.5. But because of that, it is just teetering above the 5-digit lead for France. So again, LN focused. Itkus picking up a combo break though. Now into some Rice. Definitely favoring randoms and the French players. So there is some chasing up to do here for Itkus as they are picking up a couple more accuracy drops. But so is Miller. And Jerem is also slowly dropping as Miller will find the first combo break of France. But that lead has actually grew a little bit until Miller dropped, so we'll see if Macau can try and wrangle this lead back. We're only halfway through this map. But random will fall, as is Jerem, as Jerem picks a couple. So this lead is actually going to shrink even more as Jerem picks up another miss. And now it is actually Itkus who has flipped the script. The player holding the highest combo. And Macau can actually try and wrangle this back, but Itkus will drop, as is Jerem. And the lead will just stabilize back to its regular position. And randoms will reset, as is Jerem. Miller now holding onto the highest combo of the lobby. And they are gone as well. No one's holding onto significant combo. But that also just means that Franz will hold onto this lead for a little longer. And the map is slowly approaching a close. Jerem has to be careful. Franz has to be careful. This lead is shrinking. Macau did protect this for a reason, and this might be one of the reasons. They are holding through this ending right section pretty well. And Franz are slowly dropping in accuracy. You can see both players now just teetering above the 99%. Could this end in an impressive breakpoint for Macau as Miller drops right at the end, but the map will save them from blushes. Not enough time. 3,440 points to begin this off. Franz definitely played with the tripwire.
Hello there.
Hello, Siluesca.
I do apologize for my late entrance, but it seems to be that I've only missed one pick so far.
Yep.
And that's quite an interesting performance because seems like the ratio game is a pretty sizable difference for France. So that already tells me everything about how I think hybrids could be a dangerous territory for Macau to walk into, in my opinion.
Funny that you mentioned that because that was Macau's protect somehow. And there were definitely glimpses 8-7.
It's really scary because on a chart like this isn't the most like awkward chart. Still, at least compared to the rest of the files, this is still pretty straightforward. So the fact that the accuracy of Macau is already this lower compared to France, that should already send out a big warning to Macau right now.
Yeah, and with the nature of this map being short, misses are definitely not affordable. And with one already coming from Macau, there has to be one from France unless a huge accuracy drop happens for both players. Melo is actually slowly dropping in accuracy, but Cat's accuracy is incredible.
That is incredible consistency indeed. There's actually only one. Okay, never mind. But is there enough time for...
Oh wait, my gosh!
As I say that, wait a second, wait!
Can it wrangle this back? Oh, it's not gonna be! Oh my god!
42 points! Oh my goodness.
Wow! Once again, like, for the second time in a row, France are saved by the end of the map. 42 points! It just gets smaller.
That's insane. That is insane. The fact that it's already this close. Honestly, that's actually just insane.
That's like a couple of 300s. And by like a couple, I mean like probably less than 4, 3, or 2 even.
That's insane. But that goes to show that Rice could really be a path that works for Macau. Albeit it didn't go well this time. The mere fact that it's still really close, that should already give them some sort of hope that it could really be a victory. Like, or at least they can win a chart. I mean, seed 15 and seed 18, you'd expect a close match overall.
It's kind of crazy. It just feels very coin tossy now.
I don't know what France should pick at this point. Because, okay, maybe LN? I'm just gonna guess LN1 is their best bet right now.
LN1 is their protect, I believe. So yeah.
Okay, maybe LN2 or 3 then, because I think they want to save that protect for later.
Yeah, but I think also like just any of the LN, because I think France did pretty well on the LN qualifier. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, France placed 8th on stage 4, which is very impressive. Like that stage 4 from France is higher than the United States, Chile, Peru. Some really strong teams. Speaking of France, they have to pick a map and they are going for switcheroo. They're going for Rice 5. So this is mixed rice. This is arguably the hardest rice for some. It really has a lot of different kinds of rice skill sets, which eventually turns into a mixed chord stream rush. Let's see if France are going to opt for another swap.
You know, that could actually be good for France in the long run. Because if you think about it, it sort of conserves their stamina. So I think them making these switches could be a good sign. But I have a feeling it could also be a disadvantage if they rest them for a little bit of a long period of time.
I mean, there's also the possibility that, like, you know, when players do leave the lobby, they can just go and practice another map while they wait. Which I'm very sure many players, or in like many teams, they do that. Just to make sure that they don't go cold.
I understand that. then I think that's what France could be doing as well. However, I don't think Macau really has that privilege.
Oh, Macau do not. Those are the only two players.
Yeah, so both of those players really have to be at their A game the entire match because no swaps can really happen.
They have been doing pretty well. I think albeit a couple of misses from both players so far, but like they have been managing to hold their own in terms of like combo as well. Like we saw in the last two maps, even like they were able to hold on to some impressive combo when France were combo breaking, and that led to the lead shrinking very quickly.
That is true, but I think Macau really has to work on that accuracy.
Yeah. This is not gonna help though. This map is quite tricky to get accuracy on. I will see if this will be the turn of fortunes for them. Actually, right off the bat, I think the accuracy game favored Macau. I said favored because Itcus and Randoms have now dropped below both players of France.
And that's going to be concerning just because of the nature of this chart being very technical. But as I say that, Jerem finds a miss, and I won't be surprised if we see a pattern like that as time passes on because this chart can get really technical.
Yeah, Macau needs to play to their strengths, and this could be the map. It might not necessarily be accuracy, but even so, accuracy-wise, they're doing pretty well.
I can see an interesting pattern here. Like maybe a while ago, France had the better accuracy, but I think that's when it comes to chord streaming kinds of files. Because right now, Macau seems to have sort of control on the accuracy lead, even because Idkus isn't that far behind Jerem and Randoms is ahead of Milla. That's actually really interesting, just because of how different those files are.
But that's a miss from Randoms, the higher accuracy of the two, and that's gonna shift that lead back to France. So
not to
some
mention,
breathing space, yeah.
Not to mention, the accuracy lead they mentioned kind of went to France again as their balance. But as I say, Jerem finds another drop. Here's the thing though, was that enough? Is there enough time even? Because it's not going down by a lot.
It's not because of the accuracy from Itcus.
Yeah, they need one more.
Oh my gosh!
As I say that, but we're in an easy section though. Macau cannot afford to make any mistakes at this final section. Because if they do, it goes back to France, and it doesn't. That's another breakpoint.
Got it. They were finally able to find their strength through this and pick up the breakpoint. The second breakpoint out of 3, and Macau are on the board. That was, once again, like, it's one of those maps where you feel like France would have the lead if the map was shorter. Like, France have gotten these points because the map ended when they needed to. But this map went on for a bit too long. Miller found that miss, and then it was game for Macau.
That was such an interesting ending. Like, I thought France had it, but I guess you could say Macau did a switcheroo at the ending. Took it at the very last seconds. I mean, that's exactly the definition of that term. Very interesting strategy that France had, and I thought it was the right call until Macau showed that they're capable of handling technical stuff.
Yeah. And I do see LN1 in the chat. I'm not sure if that is what they are going for yet, and I don't know if they should anyways.
I don't really think they should.
Honestly, Rice Force sounds very interesting. They are actually going for Outland 1. There's no way. Both these teams have picked each other's protects. What kind of match is this, honestly?
I don't know what to feel about it. So let's look at the qualifier statistics real quick. LN1, France is, let's see, number 8, Macau number 20. And when we're looking at LN2, Macau is number 15 and France is number 16. So overall, it seems like France has the upper hand. And I think LN1 sort of fits more onto this. I mean, okay, it is obviously LN1, but still my point stands. I just think this pick favors France a lot more than, let's say, France picking Macau's Protect.
Well, this map does test inverse LN. So it is a very specific skill set. As we are, very familiar with 4K and how inverse works as opposed to many other kinds of skill sets in LN. This one works the same, except it is going to be way trickier.
We have to see though if these players will find it trickier. I just have a feeling Macau is stepping into like an area where they shouldn't really be dwelling onto. Just because I think France has the upper hand here, and as I say that,
yeah, it goes with a very early drop and even more drops coming forth from them. 97% and dropping below that as randoms follows as well. Both players already dipping below 97 and both France players comfortably above 99%.
this is exactly what I was saying. I wasn't a fan of this pick from the start.
This is such a weird pick, yeah. I have absolutely no idea why would you do this.
Maybe, okay, I can understand this because they're like gambling your opponent's Protect is one thing, but okay, Moket may have found a drop, but this is a gigantic lead, and I don't see Jerem finding any of these mistakes soon. Because if you're to compare Jerem's UR to everyone else, Jerem is just super consistent on that range, and not to mention that accuracy is still far ahead. Like what you said, I don't understand the strategy.
Jerem does find the miss, but France need a load of misses for this lead to even shrink, for us to even talk about the possibility of Macau even winning this. This just felt done and dusted within the first 20 seconds of the map.
Yeah, I really disagree with them choosing LNs. And this didn't just give France 1 point. This also revealed to France that, oh, we can be comfortable picking the LNs. And this is the reason why I think this was potentially the worst pick that any team could have had in a situation like this, at the very least.
Like, Rise 4 is open. I don't know why that Macau didn't decide to go for that one. And
I can understand why.
Not only picking an LN map, but picking the Protect. That's interesting.
No, I can understand why. I mean, in my opinion, Rise 4 could really work for Macau. And I can understand not picking it, especially if we want to save it for later. But, like, there were 2 other hybrids that are wide open, and they were 3,000 points away from winning Hybrid 3. They should have, in my opinion at least, picked one of the hybrids.
Well, it will be back to France's ballpark, and there is just that one Rise map remaining, Rise 4. Both LN maps, LN 2 and 3, and Hybrid 1 and Hybrid 2. I would say still sticking to the LN, there we go, LN 2 is actually going to come out. Sticking to the LN pool with white canvas, this is LN density. So definitely not like what we saw with Shadows, but this map is more in your face with the kinds of releases that you'll see.
Yeah, this is the logical step. I honestly think LN3 could have been better, but LN2 still works.
I think either or would still be fine. And I don't think there will be any changes in the France roster, so this should still be the same. But yeah, this is L-Lane density, like I mentioned. So it is going to be vastly different from what we saw. Not necessarily going to be inverse.
Well, we'll have to see because, okay, it's OD6. I mean, I think Ian, the previous chart, was also OD6.
So I would actually maybe expect Macau to do better on this.
Same here. Like, LN1 just doesn't seem like it was going to fit Macau. And also, not to mention, I just think that was France's strongest LN skill set, at least in comparison
because inverse is such
to
a
what Macau
specific skill set as well. When you throw in like more generic fundamental LN skill sets like this, you can see the lead, it is very small. Macau is able to actually do this map very nicely.
It's actually really close. I can't
Still
tell.
striking distance for Macau as Jerem. I'm not sure if that's client or not, but that actually might be an actual miss. So that also means that it is hope for Macau to try and get a breakpoint as Jerem misses again. And Moquette as well. Both France players dropping. Macau, double FC, and both players 99.4. Moquette is still holding the highest accuracy in the lobby, but both players have dropped combo again. Macau.
This is surprising. This is surprising. Okay, so that's why that happened.
A breakthrough. This is the highest lead that we've seen from them.
LN1 was to France in the qualifiers. I know it's different from the LN1 here, but LN2 went to Macau even though it was very small as a lead.
There's a miss from randoms, but it's not going to be enough unless more misses drop from Macau.
I could see. I did not think it would have been here.
In France.
This is a very massive
slowly
lead.
Shrinking, but Macau are holding on. And
okay, so
that has to be the nail in the coffin. Macau will somehow take another breakpoint. We have seen 4 breakpoints out of 5.
Wait, look at the accuracy of France. It's actually it's better than Macau's overall, especially on the ratio side.
Who is having the advantage over who anymore?
But, okay, I have a feeling now that Macau has this information, I still don't think they should go LN3. Because LN3 I think is still way too risky. Maybe they can go Rise 4.
Well, there is a Rise map open, LN3 open, and LN3 is going to be the pick. At this point, it just feels like these two teams are trying to know each other more and more as the match goes on.
Yeah, I think this is the best choice. Oh wait, no. Okay, fine. You know what? Now that we're thinking about it, I'm not really sure.
At this point, I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure anymore.
I think Rise 4 was a better pick, don't you think? I still think it's Rise 4.
It feels like both these teams don't want to play Rise 4, which is quite funny, but also quite understandable.
Don't know. But this is a very risky pick. This is gonna be extremely risky. But either way, Rise 4 is still a risky pick, so I don't know. I just don't know which pick it is.
No safe picks. You pick one. You pick one risky pick and hope that it is less risky than the other. But this is L-Lane mixed. So this one has a combination of kinds of L-Lane skill sets. It is very bursty. But the second half is a bit more consistent than the first, so we might see more drops in the first half actually.
Not seeing Jerem here is interesting.
Yeah.
But I think after last chart, I can see why Miller had to come into substitute. I just think accuracy-wise, Jerem could have been a slightly better option, but maybe Miller had a better score. As for Macau, now I'm really curious to see if they can hold on to this consistency, and if they can have a strategy that would capitalize. Because I think they've gotten both their points through breakpoints, unless I'm incorrect there.
Yes. They have gotten both their points from breakpoints. The only point that wasn't a break point was that 42-point victory for France.
Now, here's where accuracy really comes into play. But as I say that, okay, Mila finding a drop, that wasn't a burst as well, and that wasn't on a like really difficult section. The mere fact that we're in a break section just goes to show how terrifying misses on a chart like this is.
Yeah, but this map is also relatively longer than most of the maps in the pool. So still some time for Miller to bring that combo back up. As I say that, almost hitting the 400 combo cap while having to immediately reset. That's gonna hurt for France.
Well, as long as Smokecat can hold that accuracy and consistency, and as I say that, Random's finding a drop, this is exactly what France needs. Here's the thing though, can France hold on? Because they've shown signs of volatility this entire match. This could not be an exception.
Yeah, it's a battle of the two players on the lower half of the screen now.
But really, it just goes to Mocha just because of the accuracy advantage. However, it's still not safe. 5,000 points of an advantage is still nothing. Honestly, this match has been close. Other than LN1, it's been really close so far. 8,000 points though, I think accuracy's been too strong for France. Unless a mistake happens, which doesn't look like it's gonna happen anytime soon.
Macau are dropping accuracy as well, so if France do miss, there has to be multiple. Not one is gonna be enough. But, you know, we've said many things before. The map's not over till it's over. These L lanes can be a bit deceptively tricky, as Moquette picks up a couple of 200s, but is able to hold onto the FC, as is Itkus. And that's going to be match point for France.
The accuracy difference was way too strong. Moquette pulled up such a big weight that had to be done. In all honesty though, like, Macau has failed to capitalize on a few openings that France gave. And honestly speaking, this kinda happens. It can't really do anything about that, have no choice but to keep on going. Because Macau has shown that they can really beat France on any skill set that they can.
Yeah, it has been a lot closer than we really have anticipated. But anyways, the L-Land pool is gone. It's only Vanguard 3, Usuva, and Kyoyomu.
I don't know what France picks though.
Are they still going to avoid Rise 4? Because I think Hybrid is still okay. Oh, okay, there we go. France has bitten the bullet.
Oh, I'm not sure what to feel about this. Like, let's see. If I were to look at the qualifier stats though, seems like France has the capability to hold onto their own against Macau. Because on all of the Rises, France has a higher ranking than Macau on each and one of them. Which is why I think it's not too bad of a pick. However, I think it can be deceptive because we've seen Macau catch up to France on other skill sets.
Yeah, the thing is that this map is Vice Tech, and you can already hear from the song sample. There's going to be a lot of these kinds of weird swingy patterns and polyrhythms.
That's fair, that's fair.
Yeah, and we've already kind of seen like Macau's accuracy general-wise.
I mean, like, at least the way with how I see this is, I think France will. Oh, they're gonna put in Worst. Is this the first time Worst was in, or was Worst here in the previous pick?
This is the first time we're seeing Worst. So that means we've seen all 6 players. Yeah, let's see if another breakpoint happens or if France can finally close out this chaotic match.
I really wonder if another breakpoint can happen.
I won't be surprised with the nature of this map. And also, it's quite short. Just under 2 minutes.
I don't know. In my opinion, like both teams have really had an interesting pick strategy. But I don't even know which one has been working more because while France has the lead, it doesn't necessarily mean that they had the best picks. Just because I feel like the difference on a lot of these charts weren't really that much. But now, let's see if this pick can really work for Macau. I think it can, just because of the nature of the chart being technical. And we've seen France miss on many of the technical patterns. However, we have yet to see worst play, so we have to see what kind of form we'll be seeing from worst here.
Oh, and already France's highest accuracy player, Moquette, drops combo and immediately just shoots themselves down to the lowest accuracy of the lobby.
That's going to be terrifying because a lot of the patterning here is not straightforward. I'm seeing, like, if I were to look at both Idkus and randoms, there's like some places where it almost looks like they're gonna be volatile to business. As I say that, Moquette does as well though.
Still safe, randoms is still holding on to the FC in the highest combo of the lobby, and for worse, they are holding on to what they can for France.
Not to mention an 8,000 point advantage for Idkus against Moquette. I think that's a one miss advantage because Moquette I think missed twice already.
Yeah.
But now we're approaching a more technical section. The thing about 2L maps, 2L songs rather, they are never straightforward and more of these patterns are gonna show up. This lead is starting to decrease. I think Macau's stamina started to decrease. Look at that spacebar on Idkus. I almost saw a miss there. That is terrifying.
Both players' accuracy is dropping, but they are not dropping combo, which is very important for Macau. But their accuracies are still dropping in this section.
Wait a second.
Idkus.
Oh!
Idkus is rushing these boards.
Oh! It's enough!
Oh, it won't be enough
for Macau! Oh my goodness!
It won't be enough for France to close the match out. It will be a third point to Macau by 153 points. And they will still stay alive for another map pick.
What a match! What a match it's been so far. Putting in worst for France was a great idea. Like, it really almost paid off. And I think this could be a sign for technical charts to come. Now though, here's the problem. It's Macau's pick.
And the only two picks left are hybrids.
Out of these two teams, you did mention that I think it was only France who had won their own pick.
Yeah, it's been.
I could be remembering wrong. I could be remembering wrong.
One normal pick won and 6 breakpoints. I don't know when was the last time I've commentated a match with 6 breakpoints, but this is the first in a very long time.
Definitely the first for 7K, I'd say. Unless the previous 4-3 match also ended up like this. Because there was another match that had a 4-3 then ended as 5-3. I want to see a tiebreaker for this one though, don't you think?
Oh, it deserves a tiebreaker now with these kinds of leads. The last minute point swaps. I mean, we've already seen like 2 maps be decided by 42 points and 153 points in the same match. Hybrid 2 is gonna be the one to come out though, so we are going to avoid Hybrid 1, which was the generic hybrid. This is the technical hybrid. This is arguably harder of the two left.
I can see why Macau would go for this. You didn't mention technical hybrid, but come to think of it, I got so nervous by that ending. Idkus showed a sign of vulnerability on that part.
Actually, I really don't have a clue anymore. Like, this match has just been flipped on its head for the entirety. To the point where, like, you know, any of these players can do well, and any of these players can completely fall apart. we won't really know until they actually play the map.
We have to see, because I am so looking forward to see how this will go.
Now the next question is France going to swap? Because we just went through like every LN map in the pool, back to back to back.
Well, we can't really say the same for Macau, unfortunately, because this is the same two players.
Yeah, but for France, they definitely have some options. And there we go, Worst is out of the lobby and Jerem is in. So both monkey players. We are back to where we started as well. We started off with the two monkey players against Randoms and Itkus, and we're ending it off here. Well, we ended off here, or we ended off with the tiebreaker, so... I think we know what chat wants, but... It is all in Macau's hands. This is their pick. They have to win their own pick for the first time in this match to force tiebreaker. Which is a crazy statement for me to say. If not, it will be fun to take it.
Let's see. Because I think OD beating 6 here could benefit Macau if they're consistent. So France putting in Jerem and Milla, I can understand why. These two are really good at accuracy in general. And I understand why they put them in. As for Macau, I just don't really know who's gonna take this. But now, accuracy-wise, actually goes to France by a very small bit.
Oh, a drop from Miller in terms of accuracy, but Itkus as well dropping down to just above 99. And yeah, France has this very small advantage. It's
starting to really... We can start to see how proficient both teams are when it comes to technical LNs, along with those grace patterns and all that. It seems to be really working for France instead of Macau, even if this is their own pick. I think they're hoping for France to find the miss or two on patterns like this, because they probably observed as well that Jerem and Milla are prone. As they say that, right on cue. This is what Macau's hoping for.
And I guess this is what Macau have been observing as well for most of the match. The France are prone to these combo breaks despite having better accuracy than Macau for pretty much the entirety of the match. This lead is going to flicker, but both players of France will drop combo, and both players of Macau are still holding on to FCs.
This is exactly what I was saying. Both Jerem and Milla, I said I understand why they put them in, but if Macau can intercept what picks they're playing, they could probably try and hope to be a bit more consistent. And it's working very well for them right now.
Yeah, but they are not out just yet. They are not out in the hills just yet. Jerem will find another miss, and this will solidify Macau's ticket to a tiebreaker, but they cannot be comfortable just yet. Jerem will find another miss. Now things might get a bit more comfortable because this map is going into a close with 25,000 points of an advantage. And another one to boot.
That's terrifying. That's terrifying.
This could be it.
What a way for Macau to finally win on their own pick. Even though it missed at the end, it doesn't matter. It does not matter.
It should not matter. The Osumania 7K World Cup 2025 for the very first time will have a tiebreaker. That's
an insane way to secure a point. They were just very consistent. And while France had the accuracy advantage for a big, that's a big accuracy advantage in terms of 200s.
Yeah.
They could not keep that consistency, and unfortunately, that was their undoing. Oh, and now we're going to be seeing the tiebreaker. I am really excited to see how both teams perform on this.
Yeah, we were denied the tiebreaker yesterday with Spain versus Sweden due to the heroics of a player from Spain, but now to the heroics of both Macau players, we are going to see the tiebreaker that I believe Randoms didn't want to see. I remembered vaguely seeing that Randoms didn't want the tiebreaker. Very nice foreshadowing.
At the end of the day though, especially with how close the seedings are. I don't really think there is any other way for a match like this to end.
Yeah, well, this one can probably go through how this map is gonna go. It starts off with some inverse, and it goes into some mixed Rice and LN, and then some LN sweeps with Rice, and then an LN coordination section, and then it goes into a Rice Court Stream combo, into some LN sweeps with Rice, and then another rush of Court Streams and Jacks. So this map kind of weaves in between a couple of skill sets that we've already seen in this match, and just jumbles them all into a 5-minute package.
I am really looking forward to this. I am so curious. It's literally Macau's consistency versus France's accuracy. That's how I see this.
Yeah. France have the accuracy, Macau have the consistency. But now this time you have to apply it to a 5-minute long map. And I think we've already seen how this match has gone as well, like anything goes at this point. Okay, I believe there is a timeout, I think. Yeah. Okay, there is a timeout after this for Macau.
Here we go. I think it's fair. It's fair for them to take a timeout. Probably in a very nerve-wracking situation right now. I get it. So, like, we can actually observe both teams right now. Because I'm looking at this entire match. You see Crash Landing Rendezvous, which was the first pick. And overall, it seems like France has the better accuracy, and that's really been the pattern. 200 counts wise, ratio wise, France really has had that accuracy advantage. It all comes down to that consistency. And that's why I really think this could be a toss-up between these two teams. It only really matters if A, is there an inverse section? Because France can really take advantage for that. Number 2, are there many technical patterns in this chart? For that, Macau can take advantage of that. Are there any hybrid sections here? That's gonna be a toss-up. And I'm sure a lot of those questions will be answered. Especially for number 3, because just because this is a tiebreaker chart, you can already expect a lot of hybrid patterning to be here.
Yeah, but also like you mentioned with the inverse, the map does start off with some inverse, so we might actually see a lead swing to France momentarily at the start. But I honestly have no idea if I can even believe in my own words anymore. Oh, let the caster hype. Well, I'm very sure the chat's hyped about this. This is the first tiebreaker of the new year. Just, period. This is the first World Cup of the new year, which makes this the first tiebreaker of the new year. So yeah, let's just get this one underway soon. I mean, this has been a crazy match. This has been an unbelievable match, like, for what it's worth. 42 points, 153 points, and it really has to end like how it really should have ended.
I'm really nervous, man. I actually want to see a very close match. So we see Milla and Moquette. I think the reason why this is the lineup is they're probably trying to limit as many mistakes as they can, because Milla and Jerem, well, they have a very good accuracy as a duo. I think that's the best accuracy they have to offer. The misses were probably a bit too much, which is why I think France probably put Moquette in. As for Macau, again, I just hope fatigue hasn't caught up to Macau just yet.
That is true. Macau are playing at night, and France are playing in the middle of the day.
Here we go. This part can, I think, put Macau in a disadvantage already. Actually, yeah, look at the accuracy of
Yep.
Idkus and randoms. Yeah, this is scary. But I don't think it's a big chunk of the chart.
Oh,
Oh,
Random's
well.
lifting the space bar.
Well, that already puts Macau at a disadvantage. And while this does not look like much, you do not want to start off a chart like this. Especially, I think this is a side read as well. I keep on seeing that word on chat, so I'm just assuming.
I'm not sure as well, but they might have briefly looked at the editor to see that the patterns of the map. Randoms does find a second drop though, and that's now going to give a slightly more sizable lead towards France.
This is a pretty big lead, but
Ooh.
it can diminish. I'm just saying it's big, but oh, but okay, a full lobby reset. Full lobby reset is interesting.
But I think France actually might have come away with that worse. Miller has dropped below 99% and drops again, but trades with randoms. It is just Moquette.
Literally, Moquette is the difference maker right now, and I can understand why they'd want to put Moquette. Moquette's accuracy has been extremely well this entire match.
Yeah, once again, Macau are struggling with the accuracy department. Both players under Miller.
This is such a big lead for France, by the way, just because of how long this is. And another inverse section. Okay, this part I think does not benefit Macau. Yeah, that's exactly what I was hearing. This is the kind of parts that will give France more of an advantage. Look, every single 1,000 points count just because it's 5 minutes long. Like, you can already tell this part just screams France, and that small increase of an advantage means the entire world because it's a tiebreaker, and anything can happen, especially if there are any technical parts here.
Yeah, but now we're going into some rise, some court streams. Now the court stream map was banned, so we can't really compare how well these two teams will play on court streams, but randoms will be the first one to fall in this court stream section.
I mean, no for Sakuretsu, we did see how Macau had a chance
Oh
there.
yeah, my bad.
But, here we go, speeds, okay, looks like it didn't affect them. So it's more hybrid sections here, and we saw how hybrid went on the earlier parts. So I think France could take the advantage there even more.
Randoms does trade with Moquette, but I think France might have gotten away with it a bit better than Macau. The accuracy from Moquette, especially 99.2, still the only player above 99. As we now transition into more of these LN sweeps.
Miller starting to trend above, slowly but surely. Randoms finding more misses. That just doesn't work. And a full team miss from Macau, that I think could seal the deal for France. More misses.
Everyone resets combo in that section. As Moquette will find a couple more misses, drops themselves down to 99.06. But that's just a very small dent in this lead as Miller trades with randoms and Moquette actually drops, so Idkus now the only player above 400 combo. And randoms will drop again though, so that resets with Moquette and Idkus resets their combo. No one has any substantial combo, and I think that pretty much signs, seals, and delivers it for France. It was a very back and forth game. We saw more break points than we did regular points. But at the end of the day, the heroics of Moquette as they pick up another miss. Actually, because of that, Miller has overtaken Moquette in MVP of the lobby as a result. But France will tie this up in a nice bow, sends it Macau's way, and sends themselves to the round of 16 winners bracket.
Still a valiant effort from Macau. They had a lot of life. Like, they showed a lot of passion, and it was so evident with how hard they fought. Like, it was just a matter of time until they finally broke through and found a pick that suits them very well. There were many opportunities where Macau could have really won this. But man, they played extremely well, and I think they should be very proud of how consistent they were. I mean, again, it's not easy to play the entire set of maps, the entire match, like gotta give props to them for playing the entire match and just pushing through despite all the fatigue and all the maps, etc.
Yeah, they definitely served us some very interesting cuisine. I should say that. They definitely cooked for a couple of the maps. And a very nice return for Macau back to the Mania 7K World Cup. And, you know, if this is the first time you're watching 7K World Cup, I have good news for you. We have more. We have more on your way because we have Hong Kong against the United Kingdom right now. And I believe with that being said, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like how we both said I believe. That's funny. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Because, you know, we have many matches going on. That also means that I will be taking my leave and I will actually be heading over to a secondary stream because 2 matches are happening. As Hong Kong and United Kingdom are taking place on this main stream, we have South Korea against Czechia on the B stream. So if you want to watch both these matches, pull up a second monitor or a second tab, I guess. But yeah, thanks to Els for commentating with me for that.
Thank you so much as well, Ray Vale, for covering especially the first few moments. I'm so sorry for my late arrival once again. But on a more important note, thank you again, Ray Vale, for your wonderful commentary. I hope the best for you on the second match. Do not miss it. It's on Osu Live it's on Osu Live 2. That is where it is. Don't miss that match because I am sure it's also going to be very, very high. Osu Live _2. Don't forget that. And as we said, we're going to be having a new commentator here on the booth.